Welcome to part one of a two-part tutorial series. My name is Jossée. I'm a self-taught artist from OJ Boogamoo, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple nighttime galaxy. There's a couple of reasons why I chose to introduce you to a galaxy. Yeah, so for one, it's super easy to make. It's kind of a hard thing to mess up. It's a nighttime galaxy. It's pretty limitless. There's really no bounds to how you can make this, the design, the colors that you use, the direction that it flows in. It's a good place to start if you're a beginner painter. I am self-taught, so a lot of what I've learned is just things that I've picked up along the way. So if you're somebody who wants to start painting and doesn't really know where to begin, this project is for you. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is choose your colors for your painting. Now, I always tend to be drawn towards more soft and neutral colors, so I'm just going to be using some different shades of blue, purple, and a very simple white and black. Next, you're going to be choosing your paint brushes. I'm just using 3 very small, simple brushes. There's really nothing fancy about them other than I'm going to use them to dab. Next, you're going to want a glass or jar of water. This is simply just to wash your paintbrush in between uses so that you're not mixing any colors together. And then of course, you're going to want to choose a surface to paint on. So for this project, I'm just going to be using simple canvas sheets. They work really well for doing this kind of painting style, so use whatever you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be this. Because I'm using a sheet, I'm also going to need a frame to put that in. So if you have any kind of frame that you like, it doesn't really matter the size, as you can do this project to your liking. And last but not least, some simple tape just to hold your painting down so that it doesn't move while you're painting. Alright, now that you got all of your supplies and everything you need, we can begin. So before you begin painting, take that tape that you have and break some pieces off to stick to the surface that you're painting on or the back of your canvas sheet. This is simply going to prevent your painting from moving while you're painting. So it makes the process a lot easier. If you're not using a canvas sheet, don't worry about it actually. But any kind of paint paper will definitely move, and it'll be tricky because you'll be touching it with your hands and that might mess up your painting. So taping it to the back of your surface is a really, really good tip. Now, once you've done that, you're gonna wanna go ahead and grab your biggest brush that you have and start filling in the canvas with black. When you're painting, it is always really helpful to have a kind of background color. Usually you would prime your paper or canvas with white, but because this is a galaxy, we're going to be using black. Don't worry too much about filling in the edges. In fact, you don't really have to fill them. You do want a majority of the canvas filled with black though. You'll be filling in the edges of your painting at the very end. For now, just focus on filling the inside of the canvas. Once your canvas is pretty much ready to go, you can start by taking another paintbrush, preferably smaller than the black one that you just used, and start kind of visualizing and imagining where you want your stars and your galaxy to be. So kind of visualize the direction you want it flowing in, how big you want it to be. This is just going to be your cluster of stars and color. So if you wanted, you could fill the entire canvas with stars. I'm choosing to kind of just flow upwards, and I'm actually leaving a space for a moon to be. So keep that in mind when creating your star clusters. Once you've established the direction you want it to go in, you can go ahead and start kind of lining that out and then beginning to dab. So with this technique, it's definitely good to use a brush that is a little more rounded. If you use a flat, straight brush, it's gonna turn out more square while you're painting, and you don't want that. You want it to look kind of more like clouds, a little more fuzzy, a little more soft. So using a rounded tip brush is really good for that. And with the technique of dabbing, you don't want to be punching your canvas. Do not dab hard. This is a really, really gentle maneuver. So imagine you're kissing the canvas with your brush. You don't want to smother the canvas. You want really light, gentle pecks. And you just want to dab all of that white in, all of where you're envisioning your stars. So take that white and just gently dab it in. It doesn't need to be very bold or bright. So the cool thing about the background being black too, if you don't like the way that your stars are sitting, you can use the black and basically use it as an eraser. You can go over where you don't like and kind of reshape it with the black, and we'll never know that you did that. All right, so once you're done with all of your white dabbing, you're gonna go ahead and take another brush, preferably smaller, and you're going to start adding in your choice of colors. So this is the fun part, and it's really beautiful to see the colors that you choose, and how vibrant or how soft you want them to be is totally up to you. I'm taking a small paintbrush and using some blue and purple, and I'm doing them in different spots. This is how I like to do it. You can choose how you want your colors to sit. Now, when using two different colors, there are two ways you can do this. You can either wash your paintbrush in between, or you can actually use that to your advantage. I like to mix the teal blue and a violet purple together, and it creates this really kind of beautiful mixture of them both. And so that's kind of an exciting pop of color to see in the galaxy. Some colors don't mix really well, so it's good to keep that in mind. So I'm gonna be repeating this process of dabbing the colors in for quite a while, and I'm pretty much gonna be doing it until I feel the colors suffice and it flows the way I like, gently dabbing and adding different colors and mixing them and figuring out what I like best and what works best. Another thing you can do is go in and re-add some white. So adding some color and then re-adding some white kind of makes it seem like a deeper cluster of stars. So once you feel that you've had all of your colors blended really well, you can go ahead and add a little tiny bit of white or color of your choice to the outside of where your galaxy sits. This is just going to give it more depth, even gentler than the taps that you were using to add the color. You just want to be very, very light and soft and delicate with this process. Now, once you've completed all of your colors and your dabbing is to your liking, you can step away because you have just completed part 1 of this project tutorial. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back, maybe get a glass of water or some tea, and I'll see you over in part 2 of the tutorial.